Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I thought it'd be fun to look back at how far Battlefield 4 has come over this last 2 years. Not only just to explain why I think finally it is one of the best first-person shooters out on the market, but also to maybe convince you that if you haven't played it in quite some time, or if you've never purchased it to begin with, why it might be a good time to finally get involved. And so the first thing that I have to praise is the significant improvements to the netcode. Having a first-person shooter with solid hit registration and hit notification, basically meaning when you're getting shot at or when you're shooting at someone and the bullets are landing, is essential to have a fun gameplay experience. That was not the case when Battlefield 4 first released. When the game launched, there were moments where you would die around a corner 2 seconds later. There were also situations where weapons that shouldn't be able to one-shot you were one-shotting you from across the map. There were also times where you would put a bunch of bullets into your enemy, none of them would register, and that would give them plenty of opportunity to take you out. It was a nightmare scenario. Over this last 2 years though, DICE LA has been able to make significant improvements. They've been able to polish it to a fine sheen where it is now undeniably the best Battlefield with relation to a netcode. You're getting notified when you're getting shot at, you're getting hit registration when you're shooting at enemies, and it's just fantastic. And so if you were always turned off because of the abysmal release with regard to the netcode with Battlefield 4, all of those problems have been solved, and it is now, in my opinion, the best Battlefield, at least in this category. Another thing I've been impressed by, and some people might disagree with me on this one, is the overall weapon balance. When the game first released, high rate of fire weapons were king. If you mastered the AEK, for example, there was never a situation where you were put at a disadvantage. You would of course do well up close because that was what the weapon was designed for, but if you had mastered the recoil, you could still snipe recons at a distance where they were supposed to have the advantage. And so the incentive of using a slow RPM weapon, which is designed for that long-range combat, it just simply wasn't there. As long as you had mastered the recoil of something like the AEK, you would actually outclass those weapons at long range. And so what DICE has done is that they've now made it more of a level playing field. If you use a slow RPM weapon like the SAR-21, you're going to struggle up close, but you're going to do exceptionally well at long range and outclass the high rate of fire weapons. And so overall, while I wouldn't say that every single gun is completely well balanced, a lot of people still love to use the AEK, there are still some guns that outclass others. In general, as long as you understand how to use a weapon appropriately in Battlefield 4, you understand its strengths and weaknesses and take advantage of it, you are going to do amazingly well. Another thing that is absolutely noteworthy is that alongside fixing all the problems and issues with Battlefield 4, DICE LA has also been busy bringing free content to everyone. If you bought the game but weren't really impressed and left it, you can now return to an absurd amount of free stuff that you've never experienced before. There's the 5 weapons that came with the Weapon Crate DLC that are all fun to use. There is the night operations, which right now all we have is Zavad, but there's going to be 2 more in the pipeline, which they're working on right now on the CTE. There is, of course, the community map, which was a community effort to create an amazing jungle theme environment. And then just a couple of weeks ago, there was the release of Dragon Valley. All of this is 100% free. There's really not much more to say about it. If you were someone who really wasn't all that impressed by the amount of content when Battlefield 4 first released, or you got kind of burnt out by the vanilla maps, I recommend just for this very reason to come back and explore all of this content. Some people may not be impressed by all of it. Some of my friends don't really enjoy the night operations. Some people don't really like Dragon Valley because they feel like it's too large, but there's really something for everyone to enjoy here, and you can't really go wrong with that. Some of you might be thinking now, all right, Matt, all this sounds great, but if no one's playing the game because it's 2 years old, everyone's moved on to something else, then what's the point? Battlefield Hardline is a prime example. Like, there's about less than 1,000 people playing on any given moment for PC worldwide. Hasn't that happened at Battlefield 4, which has been out for even longer? Battlefield 4 has 41,000 people playing on PC concurrently for peak hours. That is an absurdly healthy community. I would actually say that it has been growing over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it's because everyone has been moving back to Battlefield 4 after the disappointment with Star Wars Battlefront. I don't know what the case is, but I've been watching the numbers slowly over the last couple of weeks, and it seems like it is slowly inching further and further up. And so if you're worried that there isn't going to be any servers, you're worried that, oh great, yeah, all these changes are awesome, but if there's no one able to play on this content, then it's just worthless. That is not a problem whatsoever. There is still a very healthy community on the PC side of things, and even on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and so don't let that be a deterrent for you to enjoy Battlefield 4. But overall, while it's not flawless, I know I've been painting a rosy picture of everything being completely perfect. That's not the case, and it's going to be impossible for everything to be 100% well balanced, especially for a game of this size. But all the stuff that DICE LA has done over this last couple of years has made it, in my opinion, one of the best first-person shooters out on the market. It would probably take upwards of an hour just to go into detail of all the small things that DICE LA has done to improve this game. And so, if I haven't convinced you already, I highly recommend that you give it a try, or if you've taken a break, jump back and play Battlefield 4, because it really is an amazing first-person shooter experience. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I just thought it'd be fun to look back at how far this game has progressed, but also maybe just to convince you to give it a whirl once again. But until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.